If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe. If you enjoy my main channel content, go to the link in the description to the Spidey Cat.
Oh.
Welcome to this episode of Gaming Dudes Podcast. Switching it up. I'm doing
Brad.
the intro now.
I'm Brad. And you are?
I'm Spidey, and well, first off, the reason why my brain didn't work there for a second is because we got a tripod coming in, and by next week we're gonna have video. So that's the first.
Nice.
That's the thing I wanted to announce. We're no longer doing this background that I have here. We're just gonna see real. You're gonna see both of us on this couch. So you better get your hair good. You better get your. You better get some makeup.
No more being in my underwear.
Yeah, you better not stay in your underwear for this one.
Is that the announcement?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good announcement.
Because
I didn't know there was any
because that's a
news.
big deal. Because we've told them for literal months.
Yeah, well, I also told her we're going to have a studio and we're just going to be in my...
Yeah, I mean, dude, it's just...
we were going to be in my apartment either way.
It's a tripod. We're just going to put it up, and then it's going to be connected to this thing. It's a small one, so it's compact, so we don't have to take it out and do all this stuff. I can just put it right behind the thing. It's exactly how I do the stuff I do on the Spidey Cast. Shameless plug. But we saw the Minecraft movie a long time ago. Well, not that long ago. But...
Wait. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
No,
We
that's
saw it a while ago.
I'm just confused because I thought you meant you had gaming news.
No, that
talk about on the podcast.
no. Unfortunately,
You
that,
had nothing.
No, not in terms of that. I thought this was more important because we've promised them for so long.
No, I know what you're saying, but I thought it was going to fill time.
No. No.
All right.
But yeah, we saw the Minecraft movie a little bit ago. I'm not going to make the whole episode about this. This will probably spin off into random stuff. But
Yeah, go for it.
here's what I think is funny about it. The fact that I wonder what Notch thinks about it. That's more what I'm curious about. Like, what is
Notch
he
making?
What does he think
He
about
keeps
it?
talking about making other games. Has he even actually made one yet?
No, he's thought
There's
about
one
it.
game that I think he made that he just didn't even release.
Yeah, there was one. I think it was called Scrolls. One of them.
Yeah, he just didn't. Because I think he didn't do anything.
It was
with
like a
that.
card game that he dumped out the door.
Out the door.
He didn't. But I don't even think he got money for this Minecraft movie. Obviously, because he got
We already sold
detached from it. He doesn't get royalties from those people. They just take his property and run it into the ground. Now, not with this movie, though. I think this movie was good, but I'm saying the regular Minecraft game, update-wise, is kind of, to me, could be a little bit more interesting. But,
Yeah.
because back in the day, we used to get, pistons and sticky pistons. We had the nether. We had the end when he was around. Like, he made a lot of stuff happen. While Mojang just kind of sits down and, thumb up their, doing nothing, putting in cosmetic blocks, putting in structures.
Yeah, we talked. Dude, I don't even know. I don't get the.
They're
They're lucky that Minecraft at its core is fun.
Yes, that is the reason why they're lucky.
And mods.
Yes, they're lucky because of mods as well. Mods definitely saved Minecraft. I think it did.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Like, that is one game.
And like places where you could play game, like the servers.
Oh yeah, Mineplex.
All that stuff saved, like helped it.
Guaranteed Mineplex sold a couple copies of Minecraft back in the day.
I wonder if there's any. Is there any other poppin' servers like?
I think Mineplex.
I know
has-
Mineplex is still around.
Yeah, it's come back from the grave for a while.
You can still play on
was-
it, but
it was dead.
and there are
for a
people
bit.
playing it.
Yeah,
But there's not all games have people playing.
oh no, dude! I think Mineplex is going to be one of the few remaining mini game servers.
Is that era over? Like that era of
era of ambitious people? Yeah, I
those
think it is.
servers over.
Ambitious people are done. They're not
on
going to come
Roblox
back.
now.
Yeah, they're going to Roblox, which, yeah, no. They're not even... The funny part is people saw them as competitors back in the day. They weren't competitors, dude. Minecraft was such a massive hit that, like, obviously Roblox is big too, but you get what I'm saying. Like, Minecraft was an idea some dude just chose an outdated coding language, Java. He just thought, hey, I want to make a game about placing blocks and destroying blocks.
Yeah.
And then it turned into a massive hit. I mean,
he's a billionaire.
Now it has a movie, which, like I said, when I first heard that they were going to make that, I was like, how do you make a movie about this? There's literally infinite possibilities.
Yeah, there is.
There's infinite, like...
That was kind of cool.
Part of me was hoping it would have been animated, still kind of halfway on that one, but I think it could have been more
cool.
interesting if it was, instead of a background.
I don't know, man. Jack Black, they were so good.
That was when, Jason Momoa and Jack Black saved that movie from being a disaster, because if you cut them out...
Yeah, but that's you're cutting out the main characters then.
That's true, but I'm saying the kids, like...
The kids shockingly weren't even main people.
The trailers were kind of showing
that girl was basically barely in it. Like,
oh yeah, no.
The black woman was barely in it.
No,
that young girl was barely in it. When they were funny. They just weren't in it much.
Not at all.
And the boy, like, they kind of had like a mini side plot with him, but not really.
Well, the jetpack at the end was just such a weird, like all the. Here's the funny part. It starts out kind of like 80s movies where.
Oh yeah, but
where
she has a
they
retro
have
store.
To, you have to have a kids, having problems that they have to solve by going to this world.
Spoiler alerts, by the way, but the kids have no parents.
Yeah,
and that girl looks like she's like 18 in the movie.
Yeah, and it wasn't explained.
It's like you have to barely be of age of getting custody of
your
brother.
Your brother.
And they didn't say what did they?
They didn't say anything about their parents, no. Like, they didn't even...
It alluded like they passed away or something.
Is it just me, or does it feel like the executive stepped in with, like, adding the kids in? They kind of stepped in and said, hey, we need some kind of, like...
I think they were
kid appeal characters.
Well, I guess you didn't actually need
No, because it's Minecraft.
But I think it's because it's Minecraft, they're like, well, we should probably have kids. Probably.
It's just like...
Because he's not really a big part of it. He's really not a big part of the movie.
No, not at all, in fact.
Like, honestly.
In fact, I think that's what made it better, was the fact that he wasn't a big part of it. Because, I mean, dude, obviously he's not going to be that good of an actor. He's a kid. I'm just being honest.
There's good kid actors, but...
There are good ones, but he's...
Jack Black was incredible.
He was
Obviously,
hilarious.
So was Jason Momoa.
Every
but
moment.
I'm saying Steve is like a huge person.
Oh, yeah. And
Jack Black nailed.
And he actually nailed it, because Steve has no personality. That's the thing. They're kind of lucky.
They just made up. They just made it up.
And honestly, to finally see Steve get something is kind of nice. To not have him just be a generic...
Are they going to make another? They're definitely
going to
make
a sequel.
One.
I mean, dude, it almost got $1 billion.
Yeah, there's no way they don't. Also, it was good. I would see another one.
Same. I'd see another one.
That was the most enjoyable experience I've had watching a movie in a long time.
Same here.
In a long time.
I think the last one for me was John Wick 4. That was my.
I didn't see it.
Guardians of the Galaxy 3 was pretty good.
It was good. Guardians of the Galaxy 3 was good. I think this was better.
Oh, agreed. I think Guardians...
kind of crazy.
Guardians 3 was not a perfect send-off, in my opinion. I don't think it was as good a send-off.
Dude, it was so sad, because it's like... Gamora... Like, them really just saying, dude, the Gamora thing's donezo. Get over it. I was like, ugh.
Well, here's what bugged me. I was like, why have her in the movie at all? Just have her be dead. Like, she was dead before. Why bring her back? Like, what's the point?
I thought
why
it was
bring her back?
Cool in the sense of, like, with the plot. Not necessarily in that movie.
Yeah, no.
But, like, her being back. Or, like, whatever. It was like, how did she even come back? I don't remember.
Because somehow they went back in time and dragged Gamora from the first...
Different timeline?
Yeah, well, like, from the past, before she knew Star-Lord and all that.
Yeah, but why... Okay, so then, realistically, then it makes sense. What was the reason of them basically saying they're not going to fall in love again?
She didn't love him.
Yeah, in that yet, because she doesn't know.
Yeah, but it was basically the writer saying, "Hey, we need to close this story off real quickly."
I guess I get it, but it's like it's weird because she is technically the same Gamora.
here's what confuses me about that.
I know they didn't go
travel.
through all the same stuff together, but that doesn't mean that can't change.
You know what irritates me about it?
He was just trying to push. Peter Quill kept trying to like push it.
Yeah, he did.
To get there fast. It's like, dude, just let it organically happen.
Here's what annoyed me about the Gamora side plot thing. The fact that, so you're telling me you can go back in time and grab anyone from death, like any person. Why don't you just grab Gamora from the time before she died when she met you? You had the time stone. You had all the stuff.
Yeah, why didn't they do that?
Same with Iron Man. Like, why can't you bring him back?
Why didn't they grab the Gamora that is in love with Peter Quill?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, how come you can't do that? And
did they have to go back a certain amount of time or something?
No. It's because the writers wanted to write her off. That's literally the only reason. Her contract expired, so they had to think of something. It's the same thing with Captain America. I was like, you're telling me Steve Rogers is going to surrender being...
You know what would have been better? Just have her get with Quill. She gets pregnant or something. Like, they get married, she gets pregnant, and she wants to be a mom. Like, wants to be safe and a mom.
I guess that makes sense.
Like, just do that.
Yeah, you could sideline her in that way.
But then it's kind of like, people are going to be like, where is she? I don't know. That'd be kind of tough.
It'd be better than what they gave her now.
Basically like, hey, she's not going to be in love with you. Peter Quill, get over it. And then, I don't even remember what happened at the end.
I think what happened at the end essentially
they basically showed a new team.
Yeah,
and then Quill's not a part of it.
Yep, and he's not a part of it, even though he's still going to be around. That's the thing.
Well, his story is going to be cool.
Here's the weird part.
I feel like his plot after this is going to be sick.
I like Rocket, but him leading his own team of Guardians was an odd.
Because who was it? It was him,
Groot, some random other characters that I don't even remember.
Yeah,
them.
like who are they?
They're very forgettable. They probably were like minor.
Is Mantis still there?
No, they had to make her go off too because of the contract.
And Drax, I'm assuming, is also.
Yep, and the sad part is Drax was just getting interesting. Drax was finally becoming something.
Not just an idiot.
And then they had to write him off, and I was like, dude, I liked him in that movie. What the heck?
Okay, well then they didn't do a very good job in the movie then.
No, they didn't do a good job
closing everybody out.
Because they were.
If that's the case,
I mean, that was
their plan.
That's how
they're
I
writing
feel,
people off was like, what the crap?
That's how I feel about all of Marvel's character endings except Yondu. I think Yondu was the only good exit.
Cool.
For
I don't mind Iron Man's.
Iron Man's, yeah, that makes sense. Captain America's, it's like you're retiring, dude.
I don't mind that. I don't mind him retiring either.
I guess my problem is you have this.
He got to be with his.
You have this godlike power, and you're not gonna.
He got to be with the girl he loved, right?
Yeah, he got to be with her, but in my mind, I'm like,
I kind of wish we got to see it.
Well, this is what annoys.
Instead of you just showing us a little flash of.
This is what annoys
him being a geezer.
You see bits and pieces of them dancing, but it's like...
Yeah, but it's like, dude, this is all we get to see? We've been watching this guy for how long?
Bro, this is what annoys me about it. When I think about it logically, I understand there's contracts. You have to bring people out. You can't keep them. But it's like...
Well, why not write a story based on that going to be happening at a point?
Cap has Thor's hammer. That's my problem. You have godlike power, and... No, dude, you have to be worthy. You can't just have the mantle. The only two worthy...
Just make someone else worthy.
You can't just make people worthy.
Yeah, they can.
Odin couldn't even do that.
No,
he said you have to be worthy enough.
That's fine. You could write a new character who's worthy of that.
I agree with you, but I'm saying
you could have picked probably a couple other Avengers that I would have thought it was sick if you had.
I agree with you, but I'm saying.
I mean, Cap is obviously the best one.
Agreed. But I'm saying, when I think about it logically, it's like, in the story, he just retires? It's like... Isn't his whole character about, like...
He's done a lot, bro. Like, at some point, here's my thought with him, is he's actually... A lot of these heroes... Well, no, not a lot of them. Someone like Thor is like, okay, he's been a god his whole life. He's like a god his whole life.
Yeah.
So it's like, to him, it's like, that's your life, is you being a god.
Mm-hmm.
To someone like Captain America, who was just trying to serve in the army, who was a little dweeb nerd, and then got powers.
Yeah, became a massive...
Like, he just wanted to serve his country.
Yeah.
Then it became, he's saving the world over and over and over and over. Like, he's still, I understand he's super... But he's still, like, I feel like more human than a lot of them. Like, a more, like, not than a lot of them because they're all really all human. Like at the end of the day.
Yeah,
Iron Man just a guy with a
he's just
suit.
a guy with a suit.
Hulk is like was a normal scientist who just got gamma ray stuff or whatever. Like
I just feel like
they're all gonna retire at some point.
yeah,
Like
but
the
he's like not
humans.
even an old man.
Oh,
That's the
I
thing.
know.
It's like you're not even old.
But it's like maybe he was like after all that, like okay, like I totally got like oh yeah, he would want to be like a family man at the end of the day.
I could see it.
That's where I was like,
But
yeah.
I guess for me is it's
Obviously,
like
I'd rather have him not. I'd rather have none of them stop being heroes.
the reason why is obviously because actors don't want to keep doing the same thing.
I understand,
over
but
and over.
even me as a grown up, like if I had superpowers, it's like okay, at some point.
You'd have to wait till you're like old though, because you have responsibility.
Kind
and
of, but there's a lot of
power
other
and-
heroes too. than
Yeah,
just Cap.
but the problem is none of the characters.
That doesn't mean you
are-
can't ever help.
Yeah, it's like
I totally. Cap is like the classic American dream guy.
yeah, he
He
got-
wanted to fight for his country.
Yeah,
he
that
wanted to
is
save
true.
people
And
just
then he
to be a
retired.
hero, like just to actually help everyone. And then he wants to make a family and be with someone he loves.
Yeah,
I think he killed the game, really, if you think about
Yeah,
it.
well, yeah, he
won
did.
the game.
but Bucky's still dealing with
I know,
stuff.
Bucky's stuff is
Bucky's still dealing with.
kind of weird.
Bucky's still dealing with.
Well, first off, he's not Cap, which is weird.
He's not Cap. I wouldn't have even been bothered had Bucky been given the shield. To be honest, I don't think.
Just let him be the next Captain America.
Yeah.
Who cares?
I agree.
Nobody wanted.
No one wanted Falcon.
Dude, at least have it be someone cool.
Agreed.
Like if you were like, dude, the Shield's. I know that the guy passed away who did Black Panther, but I'd rather
Yeah.
have him have the Shield.
I'd rather have Rhodey have the shield at that
Ro,
point.
oh my gosh, we talked about
Iron
that.
Patriot.
That's who I would pick.
Iron
really.
Patriot.
Imagine, yeah. Oh my gosh, that'd be.
They want. I heard they were going to make a movie for
The
him.
thing is, nobody likes Falcon.
No,
Nobody. I don't even like Falcon as a hero. Like,
No.
I don't care about him at all.
I watched him in Captain America 2. He was the least interesting part in the entire
and it's
movie.
not like the actor's bad.
No.
It's just that the character's lame.
It's a dude with wings,
Yeah,
bro.
like nobody cares
Like
about this guy.
like,
nobody.
Iron Man suits have made that redundant.
No offense, just nobody cares.
Yeah, dude, no one cares.
Like he's a good actor. It has nothing to do with that. It's just the character sucks.
He does. Honestly, I don't even think he was written particularly well, even in the.
No, he's like funny,
And that's all he is.
but like cool. Like have him be silly. Like don't make him this huge role where he's Captain America.
Yeah, he's Captain America.
what?
And the thing is, seeing Thunderbolts, it's like you have 3 super soldiers on that team. You have Red Guardian, you have Bucky, there's a guy named U.S. Agent. His name's John Walker. He's like a Captain America lookalike too. He has a shield, actually. He throws a shield. That was made by the government. He was sanctioned Captain America.
Who's the
originally.
girl in it?
Yelena, yeah.
She's just a human, right?
Yep.
Like, and so's Black Widow.
Yep. They're both the same.
So they're just like people, like normal people.
Except Yelena is how I wanted Black Widow to be written. It's just the writing, man. She's a lot more. She's kind of like the glue in a way that held the
She's
team
such
together.
A good character.
And that's something I liked about the Thunderbolts was. Now I will say the ending of that movie. Oh my gosh, dude! It's like you had 2 writers fighting each other. One guy wanted to do a Captain America sequel type thing with Bucky as the main character. Another person wanted to do a superpower thing, but they kept beating each other up.
Is any of
like
this Bucky stuff in comics? Is Bucky having the arm and like brainwashed?
Yeah, Winter Soldier was first from the comics.
And that happened before he became Captain America, or
Yep,
after?
before he became him, and then he became him, and then Falcon became Captain America.
So they
and
fully
Bucky.
just decided. Oh, so there's.
They both did. Yep.
What do you mean?
In the comics, they both
Wait,
did.
Falcon actually is Captain America in the comics?
They were for a bit. Both of them were.
Like at the same time?
I think so. Yeah.
Wait, then who cares if Falcon is Captain America?
I think Bucky was the first one, then Falcon, then Bucky.
So they just
again,
reversed the
and then they
order?
just kept moving around
So
and
Bucky
around.
probably is going to be at some point.
I wanted
I'd
Bucky
imagine.
to be Cap in the beginning just because it makes more sense storyline wise. It's not because
No,
of the
I get it, but I
comics.
didn't realize Falcon. I thought they just made that up
Well,
completely.
guess what? The Falcon Captain America series bombed worse than Bucky's did.
Yeah, but
It
like if
bombed
there can be both,
horribly.
like, who cares?
People hated. him as Captain America, even in the books.
That's not even. I thought that's way less. I thought it was like
they just made it up for the sake
I was
of
like,
it.
you're just making this up.
No, they did that with Mandarin, which is unfortunate. You know, they hate Mandarin. They hate.
Mandarin was cool.
Well, they didn't even make. Yeah, they're
I'm
just
saying, like the character Mandarin.
Oh yeah, they were like, nah, I can't do him. He's too goofy. They said he was too goofy, and I was thinking in my head, dude, you're in a universe with a talking raccoon and a guy who.
Dude, you could say that the entirety of Doctor Strange is too goofy.
Agreed. He's a magician.
His whole thing is a lot more goofy than, and it's awesome.
It's awesome, but he is a magician. He was a magician. I will say, if you watch the animated one, the concept's a lot darker, and they would have never shown some of the things that were in that.
But like we were talking about with people ending their contracts. Because now they rehired Robert Downey Jr. for Doctor Doom.
It's like,
which he's going to do good, but it's like he'll probably do amazing at that.
The sad part is the
First
rest
off,
of the
how many
movie.
times have we done Fantastic Four at this point? Like 3?
Agreed. I was like, dude, just let it die, man.
And the funny part is Captain America was
Johnny Storm.
Johnny Storm first. And I thought his Johnny Storm was like the best part of the movie.
He was good. Same with Jessica Alba, but that's...
Well, yeah. She could have just not even opened her mouth and been...
The Thing and Mr. Fantastic. Here's the problem. Here's what I want. If you're going to do Fantastic Four, this is what you do. Sell me on Mr. Fantastic. Sell me on him. You have to. You have to sell me on him as a character.
And the guy... I thought that the guy...
John Krasinski.
Yeah, he looked like he'd
I
be
know. He could have reinvented the character.
I didn't see that movie, though, so I don't know if they were good or not at all.
Oh, unfortunately.
People hated it.
The reboot is happening soon.
I know, but did you watch the one with John Krasinski?
He was in Doctor Strange 2.
But he wasn't actually. He didn't actually get his own.
No, he didn't get one, sadly.
He could kill it.
Oh, everyone wanted him to be Mr. Fantastic.
He would be so good at it.
Because he'd be different. The thing is, Mr. Fantastic...
I'm listening. I'm looking up Fantastic Four.
They need to reinvent him. Like, Iron Man didn't need to be reinvented. Spider-Man didn't need to be reinvented. Captain America...
Pedro Pascal is...
Like, none of those characters... Yeah, it's Pedro. It's the Mandalorian guy.
That's insane. That guy's in everything right now.
I know, and I'm thinking, dude, Mandalorian Season 3 bombed. So why is he in this?
Dude, this Vanessa Kirby will probably be a stellar...
I'm
Fantastic
hoping...
Four.
I'm hoping that that's the case.
I haven't seen the trailer. I'll have to see the trailer. I haven't watched it.
I think Jessica Alba's like 4 years older than her.
Jessica Alba was great. She looked perfect for the role.
Agreed.
Joseph Quinn? The guy who played...
I think I watched a little bit of the trailer and I was like...
Ever from Stranger Things?
I was like, I've heard people be positive about it, and I'm like...
But people were positive about the trailer, one of the other trailers, if I remember right, too, the second reboot.
That's what I'm telling you. It's like, people can be positive, but it doesn't work. Like, positivity doesn't work, people. Thunderbolts proved that to me in some ways, because it was like a... You know how I review Thunderbolts? It was like a backhand. Like a backhanded compliment. Because you have part of it that's really good, and then you have a second part of it that's really bad, where they're trying to... My problem with it is...
Was this one bad? Did you watch the 2015 one?
No, I didn't, but I heard it was so...
That's what I heard was really, really bad.
Yeah, people really hated that one. People remember...
Because of the trailer, I was like, the trailer looked good in that.
The funny part is people remember the first Fantastic Four a lot more fondly than any of the other like the sequel or the reboots. A lot of people think it was...
I didn't think it was that bad.
A lot of people thought it was better. And I think...
It was goofy, but like Fantastic Four is a little goofy.
It is.
Whatever.
It is. I will say Reed...
Also, the story with the orange guy... It's clobbering time. I don't know.
yeah, The Thing, yeah.
Yeah, his story was like sad.
Yeah, it was.
Because he was like a freak and like had to be away from his... That was like really sad.
Now, I will say his actor was kind of compare like I think he was. I'm with you on the thinking Chris Evans was the best actor in that entire.
Me too. I mean, the main guy. I don't think Mr. Fantastic was too bad.
He wasn't bad, but he was almost.
I think Jessica Alba is a terrible actress.
Yeah, she was not a good actress at all.
She fit the part like she looked like what
Yeah.
I want Susan Storm to look like.
Well, yeah, she looked the part, but the problem is, the biggest problem with it is nobody cares, dude. I've read Fantastic Four comics, okay? I've read some of them. I've seen them. I will say Reed is nothing like that. He is not. The thing with Reed Richards is, you know what he is? He's a little bit of a sociopath. He's a little bit of a narcissistic.
What do you mean, like how
Like he's a little. He's a bit of a know-it-all kind of guy. That was his actual
Love guys
personality.
like
But the thing is, what was nice about him was he was a genuinely nice guy, though. That's the difference. He wasn't like a Stark type thing. Some writers wrote him as like a annoying, but
Stark
some
is like a playboy
some wrote
and also a know-it-all.
Reed was kind of written as a very eloquently spoken, intellectual guy. Meanwhile, the movies don't do that at all. In fact, they make him a goofball. He's a lot more serious and a lot more intense in the books. Like even just reading a couple of them, he's a lot more intelligent. He doesn't, stretch to grab a toilet paper. That's not a scene in the books.
It's funny though.
It's funny, but
I'll take it.
my problem with him is I understand Mr. Fantastic is goofy conceptually, but you can do him correctly, in my opinion. You can do him right. You can make him smart. He didn't seem very smart in the original Fantastic Four to me. He seemed like a ditz.
So if it flops this time, how can you possibly excuse doing it again? Like how?
Well, it probably will.
Yeah, like maybe people just don't care about Fantastic
No,
Four.
and that's the thing. Like, see, Avengers resonates
thing?
with people.
Bastard.
Nice. Now, I think you can take some characters from Fantastic Four and take them away from the team. I could see the Thing doing well in a movie. I could see Invisible Woman. I could see them separately being good characters. I just don't think as a team they're interesting.
Doctor Doom would basically have to be amazing, I feel like, to pull it off. Like, the enemy would just have to be so well
you'd have to
done.
have the best villain.
Otherwise,
of all
it's
time.
like, who's going to care?
And then Avengers Doomsday is like, we'll take Doctor Doom. I'm like, he's a Fantastic Four villain, though.
Yeah. Wait, Doctor Doom's not going to be in the Fantastic Four movie?
Nope. He's in the Avengers Doomsday thing.
Are you joking?
I'm not joking.
Wait a second. So they're having Robert Downey Jr. back in the Avengers movies, but as a villain.
Yep.
How does that make any sense?
I know, dude.
Wait a second. Who's going to fight him? The Avengers?
Yeah, not the originals. They're gonna have
Like new Avengers?
yeah, but not even like it's not even the Thunderbolts. I thought it'd be cool if it was just the Thunderbolts.
That's what I was thinking. That's what I was about to ask.
Instead, they're going for a different,
like a whole new Avengers.
Yeah, they're going for Captain Falcon, as I call him. They're going for
Who is it?
Captain Marvel. They're going for
Who's Captain Falcon?
I just jokingly
Yeah, but who
called
is it?
Falcon.
Oh,
yeah,
Captain
Captain
America.
Falcon,
Gotcha.
Captain Marvel. Yeah, not a team
Who
of
else?
champions.
I never saw the Captain Marvel movies.
I watched it. It was not worth
I
it.
didn't have any desire to.
I would have liked her if she looked like she originally looked in the books, Miss Marvel, because she, looked attractive. Yeah. And also, her character, I watched some Avengers cartoons, and she was fine. She was actually likable, interesting, not just attractive, not just eye candy. She had a personality.
So what?
She also had a relationship with some blue alien guy.
I didn't realize they were making another one.
Yeah.
Like another Avengers team.
Yeah, they're making a new one.
What's it called?
Avengers Doomsday is the movie.
I am learning some stuff right now.
Yeah, it's like they're bringing back some characters.
Oh, Doomsday. That comes out next year.
Yeah, and I'm not particularly excited or rearing up for it.
Oh, Spider-Man's in it. That could help.
Yeah.
Deadpool.
Yeah, I think Charles Xavier and Magneto are in it too.
Scarlet Witch.
They're bringing him back.
Wolverine.
Yeah, they're bringing back like.
I mean, they're really. It could be good.
My problem is.
I'm glad Doctor Strange is in it.
Yeah, I'm glad too. After he got completely, what happened in Multiverse of Madness when he was made a fool.
Could be good. Probably going to be bad, but could be good.
The thing is, like, this is my problem. I like Doctor Doom, okay? I like him as a character.
Oh, Susan Storm's in it. Oh, the Fantastic Four is in this movie.
Yep, because Fantastic Four is coming out this year, I think.
So it's going to be their movie, then an Avengers movie with Doomsday.
Yep.
So they're really trying to reboot the whole
and this is my problem.
Superhero line.
Yeah, they're trying to replace the Avengers with interestingly bad
different Avengers. Can we just get the next
replacements.
Spider-Man movie and then end that? It'll probably be the last one, I'd imagine.
You know what I would do? Oh no, they're gonna keep Tom Holland. They're gonna milk him until.
But we're already past what the
they're
other
gonna
ones
keep.
were
They're
at.
gonna keep him, dude. They're gonna keep him for a long time. This is what I want.
Even he was like, "Look, I love doing it, but there is a certain point where
And
they should stop."
Shout out to the Spidey cast again. Shameless plug if you've listened to it, my friend.
Oh yeah, you're.
I talked about just this thing where I was like, okay, I want a reboot, a full reboot
Of what?
of the entire universe, but I want a reboot starting with not Spider-Man, not any of those people. I want some other I'd go with Spider-Man, but I would set him in the actual time period that he was made in. Instead of like 1966, do something different. I think you could make an interesting
That's true.
movie doing something
That
different
would be.
instead of modern times.
It could be good.
Not a fan of the time period.
Not really, but like that doesn't mean it wouldn't be awesome.
I'm saying like every time, and I'm saying basing them off of the books that I read and basing them off of the actual.
I understand what you mean. I know. I get it. Like it could be really good.
And the
I'm saying that like just the basis idea, I wouldn't be like, I can't wait to see this.
Iron Man's in the 60s too.
But remember, I thought the Spider-Man No Way Home was trash until or whatever the one. I thought it was trash till the other Spider-Man came in.
Oh yeah, same.
I was like, what is
Same.
This is so bad. Like
Same.
there's other villain. Then when I watched it a second time, I liked it a lot more because I was like, actually, it is kind of cool seeing these old villains come back.
Yeah.
Like kind of thing.
It's
But
like,
at first, I was like, this is.
in comparison,
I was so bored.
the beginning was definitely not nearly as exciting
The other,
as.
well, obviously, Homecoming was super boring too.
Oh, Homecoming was like paint dry.
Keaton saved it.
Oh yeah, he saved it.
The second half of the movie kind of saved it.
I walked out disappointed.
Kind of saved it.
I walked out disappointed though.
The next one was awesome,
Oh yeah,
and then the
especially
third
in
one was
comparison.
awesome. But if it
was
wasn't
in
for
comparison, Mysterio,
the second half of the new one, saved the movie for me.
same.
Don't get me wrong, it was cool. It was good. Like when I saw it a second time, I was like, okay, this wasn't as bad as I thought. But I also knew it was happening that time more.
Yeah, you knew who
The
was
first time
coming.
in theaters I watched it, I was like,
what
this is
what does this mean?
really bad. Like I don't care. And nothing was really happening. It was about him. Like it was like his college stuff. Like I can't get into a college.
Yeah, it's like
And he was like dealing with being exposed, I guess.
yeah, and they could have made that way more interesting. I would have wanted him being hunted.
But
or
then
something.
the last half was killer. Like you could have just made it a separate movie almost.
Oh, agreed.
Where it was like, oh, so much emotion. He loses his Aunt May. Like
but the problem is, it took till the third movie to do all this stuff.
They all bond over that.
And
You get to see the other two Spider-Men that you love.
yeah, dude, I love.
They
I
get
love 'em.
along and understand it. Peter
Toby.
has his life shut down. Like his friends don't know him. His love of his life doesn't know him.
Perfect ending.
Then he has to be like the hero and be like, instead of trying to get Mary Jane to remember him, he's like, you know what? Like
I'm Spider-Man.
I'm Spider. Yeah, this is better off for everybody. And I was like, that is Spider-Man.
In fact, that's why I
made
was
the
so
boy a man.
curious. I wanted to see. That's why for me, I don't even want to recast Tom Holland. I'm talking years down the line. The stuff that
Oh, I
I'm
know.
talking about.
I know you're not talking about that.
Because I'm saying for what I'm thinking,
I'm just saying the next
You know,
Spider-Man movie is probably going to be.
start with
I'm
Spider-Man.
not talking about Avenger. I'm talking about like his
Yeah,
next
yeah.
solo movie is going to be killer. killer.
Oh, it's going to be great.
I don't see how you keep it going after that, though.
How good it was.
Yeah, like what plot do you go for after this?
Yeah, that's
like,
true.
Because this one was so good.
How do you?
The last half was so good. You hit us with like everything happening. He loses everything in a movie. It's like, okay, then I guess the only real issue is he going to get Mary Jane back in the next, or his friends back?
I would
say no. Probably.
Yeah, no, because that's how you should do it. Is not having them back. Here's what I would do if I were doing for this stuff.
You think he'll meet Gwen?
I would just Carnage. I'd probably do a time skip where he's in college. You know, we get some hair on this boy's chest, please.
Oh, dude, that would
Carnage
be sick.
is a villain.
Or Venom.
I may not even have. You know what's funny about Venom? I may have the symbiote, but it may be him against Carnage. Peter in the symbiote against Carnage. Like I wouldn't go for the usual. Yeah. I wouldn't go for the usual constant. Like I do love Venom, but you know Sony's got.
Dude, what if he's not in college and he's just like, they make him like, oh, he's just working and doesn't go to college at all. Like he starts doing the Daily Bugle.
Well, that's
stuff.
kind of they're. Oh yeah, well they're kind of setting him up for. With the whole
like instead of like,
thing.
He's just instead of college, he's like now he's just like kind of gets tossed into the real
photographer.
world.
Yeah,
that would be cool.
Oh, agreed.
Scraping by in a crappy apartment.
Do that.
I would love that.
I mean, that's what Toby's basically was.
I know, but it's like they set the plot where they could do that, where they like toss him because he's kind of like lost everything.
Yeah, and that
doesn't have a home. Who's he going to go to get money to pay for his stuff? Like, he has to work.
No one. Oh, he has to work, guaranteed.
So he can't just be a hero. He has to like work.
He has to do both.
Yeah.
Which is how it's supposed to be. See, this is my problem.
This is what I'm saying. They kind of pushed it where they could do that.
This is what people say. Dude, they were totally intending this like a trilogy. You know, they're intending for this to be, you know, the way it was at the end where he's finally Spider-Man at the end of the third movie. And in my head, I was like, no, they screwed up. John Watts screwed up. And I
think they just fumbled and were like, okay.
We have to fix this. Band-Aid, nostalgia Band-Aid.
Because it's like, I don't care if it's exactly like how Spider-Man was.
It doesn't have to be exactly the same, but when the tone is so radically different that it doesn't even feel like Spider-Man. The first movie
was a little bit of like, whoa, he's pretty young. Like we talked about, it's like, okay, he's kind of young for me. To be like, I understand, like, we're adults. But it's kind of like,
yes.
I was like, the first one, I'm like, okay, like this is like a kid's movie.
Dude,
almost.
he wasn't
Obviously,
even.
superheroes are kids' movies, but
he reminded me of a 13-year-old. He's supposed to be 16 or 15. He reminded me of a 13-year-old.
Yeah, it's like that's even still to you. It's like, dude, I'm like, the one in all the other Spider-Mans felt like they were grown-ups. I know that
they were both in high school.
Garfield was in high school.
They both were. Toby was at the tail end and got graduated immediately.
Toby just seemed like he's a college student the whole time.
He did, but he was graduated at the so quick.
Okay, so they all are at the same time.
Yeah, but it was more like
then maybe those did it wrong.
Those, in my opinion, those did it right.
Because if you think about it, they didn't make that seem like high school at all.
But that's how the book was. That's the thing. The book was like that. And I'm not saying everything has to be like the book. Garfield was different in some ways, and I liked
the first
it.
half of Homecoming. That's the first one.
Yeah,
was like them talking about a school party.
I know,
and I'm like,
it was boring, dude. It was boring as frick. My problem was, dude, I was 18 years old, and I was like, dude, I don't care.
Don't get me wrong. Like, I would be curious to watch it again. It just was not what I thought.
I probably will never watch it again because. Maybe for Keaton, I could be convinced, but
he can't save the whole thing. But he helped me be interested when I saw him. The Vulture was like cool, but that was about all it had.
My problem was they looked at the other Spider-Man movies and said, "This is bad. We need to do you know what it reminded me of? A Disney Channel flick. It literally reminded me the acting beats when Keaton wasn't there. The acting beats, the conflict." All that, it reminded me of like a hokey Disney Channel thing. And I like those, but it's supposed to be about Spider-Man. Why is this character... Like, when I see Peter Parker...
You know what it was? They just dragged out the...
It was so
They
long.
dragged out the, nothing happening for too long.
It was, almost the entire
It was, basically like a teeny bop, party movie.
Yes.
And he's training, but not really. He's wanting to be trained, in the field. But they dragged that out for so long.
Yes, they left it Here's what I think. I think the perfect balance.
I would be curious to watch it again. I feel like I still probably won't like it.
The perfect balance of high school, in my opinion, was Andrew Garfield. I think his was the best, personally, in terms of the high school segments. Tobey is my favorite Spider-Man, but I think Andrew's high school stuff was way more compelling, like from a storyline perspective. I think him struggling with bullies trying to like hurt him and people not understanding the trauma he went through. I think Andrew Garfield's was how you should do it, how you should do the high school segment, because it's about him dealing with the trauma of his uncle being dead and everyone looking at him and you know, nobody likes him. That's the plot of Peter Parker. He's the nerd. Nobody likes him. No, like people, and Andrew's character wasn't liked that much. He was an outcast in some ways. Having rewatched it, he was kind of treated like he was just the weird kid in the corner.
When did Homecoming come out?
Homecoming came out in like 2016. I was like 18 at the time.
10 years ago, almost.
And I was like,
24.
In my head, I was like, where's Spider-Man?
If I watched it now, I might even think it's worse. Because I'm just older, and I feel like I would just be like, oh, this is a little kid. Like, I'd be like, oh, I feel like I'd be like on Aunt May, like the Aunt May kind of train where I'm like, oh, someone's got to take care of this kid. Like, he's a kid.
Yeah.
Like,
it's not like...
Because Peter was like taking care of himself pretty much in the other movies.
Yeah, in some ways.
I know he had them, but they were old. So like, he's kind of taking care of them / himself.
It was kind of about him taking the reins a little bit. I mean, they were both at the tail end of high school. It was about both of them becoming men and kind of...
But even in this one, he wasn't even at the tail end of high school. In Homecoming.
He was at the beginning.
And then, because the next one was a school trip.
Yeah.
Dude, man, was I expecting it to be bad, and it was dope.
Far From Home was a lot better than Homecoming.
Man, was it good. Jake Gyllenhaal was an incredible
He was
Mysterio.
A very good Mysterio. I think him dying at the end was like, okay.
They did the perfect amount of, okay, here's like him having his normal life balance. They did way better. Whereas the first one, it was like, okay, like you've set up his life. We get it. Like we get it. The second Far From Home felt way more of like, okay, we're getting a lot more adult stuff happening.
Yes.
Mixed in with his like kid stuff, but
also,
he's like starting to prioritize the hero thing, not the.
Also, Tony's dead.
Kid thing, and Tony's dead.
That's the thing.
That's a big part too. Yeah.
Him being dude, I love Tony Stark, but him being Peter's like Uncle Ben surrogate was the weirdest.
Well, he wasn't. He didn't.
He kind of wasn't. He was more like a mentor.
No, he was. You're right. But it's like he was. I just felt like he was too easy on him.
Agreed.
He's just a kid, and like I think that's sweet, but it's like at the end of the day, he's got to get out there and fight. It's like the first movie was kind of even I was kind of annoyed with Tony, where I'm like, dude, let the guy get some experience.
Yeah,
like come on, like let him.
Well, he also called them out rightfully. He said, dude, if you can't be Spider-Man without my high-tech suit that I gave you with all this stuff, then what the heck are you? Like,
yeah,
if you can't get this together, he's like, if you can't do this correctly, and I have to keep coming in and saving you, while you're screwing up constantly, you know, how?
That's true.
He couldn't even fight bank robbers with like crappy weapons.
I do that kind of. He should have done a little better, I think.
Yeah, I would have liked.
But
him.
I did kind of not mind that, where it's like, oh, he just like really has no clue.
It's fine with him not having.
And he's a
clue.
kid.
Him getting beaten.
Dude, that's like someone 6 years older than Logan.
Going
being Spider-Man.
I guess I'm saying, if I were writing the movie, I would have had him getting punched a lot more, getting like physically beaten. There wouldn't have been as much.
I would rather have him doing well, but being like beaten down.
Like, instead of him joking around, jumping around these guys and not doing anything, like he doesn't punch them, he doesn't even throw a punch on these guys. I'm like, dude, throw a punch on them.
Well, they made up for it, and they really made up for it in the third one.
Yeah, the third one they made up for it.
He got his butt kicked, physically, emotionally.
Yeah, he did, and that's where I was like,
that's why this next movie, if they flop, if it's not a banger, I don't care about Tom Holland at all anymore.
Yeah, same.
Tom's a great actor, not Tom,
yeah,
but his Spider-Man.
His Spider-Man is.
If this next movie isn't like, oh my gosh.
And I'm hoping, this is what I hope happens. Like I said,
because they gave us closure with the other timeline Spider-Mans in a way.
yeah, they did.
Where I was like, whoa, this is cool.
I was still hoping for an Amazing Spider-Man 3.
That would be
to this
awesome.
day, I still. It's
That
like
would be
Tobey
awesome.
Maguire's at least ended on a
We
satisfying.
didn't get a 3. We only got 2, right?
Yep. And I was mad that he wasn't in Civil War. I was like, I wanted him to be in like Avengers or something.
Garfield was so good at that.
I was ticked because I was like, Toby's ended. People will hate Spider-Man 3 and hate me for saying I liked it, but parts.
I liked it.
But Andrew's didn't end. He didn't get a conclusion. He got
the
nothing.
second one was which is shocking because the second one was really good.
My only problem with it was the whole Harry Osborn blood plot thing, where Peter's not going to give him his blood to help him survive cancer. That was like, okay, dude, who wrote this?
Why didn't he? I can't remember why.
He was like, dude, we need to test this. And Harry didn't say he was going to inject it directly into his body. He thought he was going to be reckless with it. But it's like, dude, he's on the verge of death, man. What else does he have hope
if he
for?
would have... Wait, wouldn't he have known? Wait, I can't remember the plot. Did Harry know he was Spider-Man?
He didn't.
Did Harry know that Peter was Spider-Man?
No.
So he was trying to ask Spider-Man.
Yeah, he was telling Spider-Man, "Hey, what the heck? Give me your blood."
And was Spider-Man trying to protect his identity? Is that why he wasn't giving it to him?
I don't know. That's the thing.
Or was he saying like, "I don't want you to have my superhero blood"?
I think that was more along the lines of what was going on.
Because when I watched it the first time, I was like, "Oh, somehow he'll find his identity by his blood," even though you wouldn't. I don't think you can actually even do that. But.
No. But what bugged me about it was, you're telling me your best friend's gonna die, and you're just gonna sit there and watch him die from cancer? Like,
what's the big deal? Yeah, like what would the alternate path have been if you were just like, hey, look, I'm Spider-Man.
Yeah, just give him.
I'm gonna give you my blood.
He would have been happy.
Yeah, like he could. Yeah, because
I felt awful for Harry.
What set
in that
him
movie.
off? I can't remember what set him off.
What set him off?
He didn't get the blood, so he was mad at Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, he was ticked. He's like, I'm gonna die, and you don't even care. That's what set him off. Like, you don't care. You're a hero, supposedly, but you don't care about me. You don't care about me or what I'm going through.
Okay.
All you care about is yourself.
That's what started him being like, I'm going to kill Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's what made him kill Gwen. And honestly, I can see the mentality of why he did it.
Okay, yeah, so that is kind of annoying.
Because it's like, that was my problem. And Rhino. Oh, my, Electro and Rhino were terrible. That's the only thing
Electro was
that
a
really...
cornball, but
Electro,
I actually thought when he was full Electro, it was kind of cool, but
the problem was...
he's like nerdy.
Boom, 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 boom.
I kind of liked that. I kind of liked some of it, but
My problem was
he
Rhino.
was a little over-exaggerated at the beginning when he's like,
He was terrible. Jamie Foxx.
This is my birthday. He remembers my birthday.
Birthdays. It's like, you're telling me that an Electro's just a tool in the actual
But dude,
comics.
Gwen,
It's a tool bag.
Gwen was, dude, she
Oh, yeah.
nailed Gwen.
Emma Stone
My gosh.
and the death scene. Oh my
yes,
goodness,
the whole
dude.
that was a good movie. Yes, there was
the
aspects
ending
of it
was
that
some of
should
the
have been
best.
different,
Yeah, the ending was phenomenal. I even when I was younger, I was like, this was a perfect ending to the movie, except for when Rhino came in at the end. I think Rhino was really.
Can't remember who Rhino. I don't remember Rhino.
He was in a mecha suit. It was like the dumbest
Was it
looking
Paul
thing.
Giamatti?
Yep, and it would lift up, and he'd be
Oh, I
like,
thought that
"Hey,
was-
hello."
At first, I thought that was in the first trilogy for some reason. I got it mixed up.
No. Well, probably because the video games
Dude,
have Rhino.
that cracked me up.
I thought he was awful, dude. He was a
cracked me up.
terrible Rhino.
Well, he didn't really even do it. He didn't really even do anything.
Well, he put on the suit at the end, and they got into a cliffhanger ending.
like Rhino was going to be the villain the next time.
Yeah, he was like, because Spider-Man lifts a manhole cover, and he's about to hit him, and then Rhino and him like go up to each other, and then the credits roll.
Dude, the first one of that was sick.
Yeah, I think that was probably. I think I love Dr. Connors as a villain.
That was
Dr.
sick.
Connors is so good. I love him. I mean, dude, even Spider-Man 3, the game, did Dr. Connors. Like, everyone loved. Lizard is amazing. I liked Lizard. he got no screen time in No Way Home. Andrew his character didn't give a crap about Dr. Connors, even though he's like a surrogate father.
Dr. Connors
Figure. I love that guy. I even liked him in the original trilogy because, believe it or not, Dr. Connors was in Spider-Man 2 and 3. I liked him in those movies too. I think they never screwed him up. What they did screw up was the fact that Tom Holland never got to, like... First off, you know that Venom... I watched Venom 2, and there was a tease that Venom was going to be in one of Spider-Man's movies. I was like, Tom Hardy Venom. Maybe they can make him a villain. That'd be cool.
True.
You know, maybe they could redeem his character after the second movie.
People didn't like him.
Dude, the second movie was terrible. The second Tom Hardy Venom movie was the worst.
I didn't see either. The first one I literally tried to. I'm sure I could have pushed past it.
I'm not going to lie to you, bro. Give it a shot. The first one.
I should.
Give
it was
the
just
first one
even
a
the
shot.
first scene with the ambulance, I'm like, this is horrendous acting.
Because Tom
But I
Hardy...
also was different. Like, I don't care now.
Tom
I can
Hardy...
get past, like, people not being great in movies. I don't care.
Tom Hardy was pretty good as Eddie Brock in the first one.
I'm just different now watching, like, a movie watcher. Like, for me... I can get past it because I still like Venom.
Yeah.
Like, I can get past these things and enjoy the movie still. I'm not going to be like, oh, this was so, like... I guess I watch movies on Roku channel all the time that are like, because they're free, and these movies are like pretty bad, but I can still find cool stuff in them that I like.
The second Venom is so bad I couldn't even watch it. The first one I liked because he...
Was it worse than...
Than Madam Web?
Madam Web?
No. But it was
Madam
close.
Web.
It was close.
There is a lot of movies that I get past what happens. Madam Web is unreal.
I'm not going to lie, John. I actually felt more pain watching Venom 2. I felt more pain and suffering.
Because you like Venom?
Because I like Carnage and I like Venom. Carnage is in it.
Yeah, but was it worse?
And I'm not kidding when I tell you.
That would be shocking if it's worse.
It felt like... close. It was close to that bad.
Oh, that's really bad.
Venom 1 was like, I liked watching. I think Tom Hardy was decent. I think he was a pretty good Eddie Brock. I don't really care for the suit talking.
Because Madam Web was one of the first bad movies that I saw that I was like, this was almost not worth even as a bad movie seeing.
I feel like you'd like Morbius more than Madam Web.
I feel like I would too. I actually know I would.
Because here's the thing. Say what you will about Jared Leto. Here's the thing. At the beginning, I was like, he's not a bad, like, Michael Morbius, but then he becomes a vampire, and I'm like, okay, this is when he kind of... When he's a normal guy, a normal guy, I'm like, I see this guy
I've never seen some corner lines ever, though. But I'm okay with that.
Because at the beginning, it's like, okay, I get what you're doing with this guy. It wasn't as corny. And then the second he becomes a vampire...
I would fully watch it.
The second he becomes a vampire, I don't know what happened. But
I do remember seeing the trailers and being like, looks ridiculous. This was like a joke movie.
It does. You said it was like a Stephen Hawking thing.
I would still see it. And probably like it, honestly.
It was funny. This is the thing. He was the pretty little stinky pinky line.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, my gosh. When we kept rewinding it over and over again when we saw it.
I would watch it. I love movies Honestly, some of my favorite movies are like kind of bad ones where there's like good parts.
This was so bad.
But most of it, you're just like, what the...
It's like, this was awful. I couldn't even...
Because like I said, I can usually find redeeming qualities in...
But Madam Web...
Madam Web was tough.
All you have was Uncle Ben.
Like, there was a couple scenes that were kind of... They were funny to talk about later, but like the best part about the movie was joking about it afterwards, but...
And
when
Uncle
I was watching it was
Ben.
not funny. Besides the guy with that accent.
Oh yeah, hello.
Yeah, he was funny.
He
was kind of funny.
Him and Uncle Ben were actually the best
Uncle
parts.
Ben.
Well, remember he was like a way better actor than all the people. Ben was in it. He was the paramedic guy. He was with Madam Web. He was like the other guy. He was taking care of the girls.
Oh, he was Ben.
Yeah,
he was good.
He was actually a good actor. It's just
it seemed like that woman didn't care.
No, Dakota didn't care
at all.
She didn't care at all.
It's almost like she's like, I know this is total garbo. And they had Sydney Swin. They had like a group of teen girls that were like, it's like, were they just in it for sex appeal? Like, they're teens, but I'm saying like the way they were, it's like, what are the reason for having them?
Oh yeah, the dancing.
Because they all became like heroes.
Yeah, they became Spider-Woman.
But there's a scene where Sydney Sweeney's like
yeah.
dancing on a table, and you're like, "What is this girl's supposed to be a teen?
Yeah,
what are we
it's
doing?
disturbing. It is disturbing.
Like, what level is what?
Thank
level are
God
we
she
stopping?
was not that age.
No, she's a girl.
But that was disturbing.
But I'm like, her character is.
Yeah, that was a little awkward.
It's like, what are we doing here?
That was a little more than a little awkward. That was actually extremely
And it has
awkward.
nothing to do with the plot at
It
all.
has nothing to do with the plot. You know, it's not about like teaching.
Terrible.
Yeah, it was so bad.
Terrible
That part,
movie.
I wish they would cut that scene out because that was the cringiest part.
Yeah, that was hard to watch. It was so bad.
And then Dakota Johnson trying to act. That guy getting hit by that vehicle.
I swear I've seen her be good in movies, but I can't. But once you said that, I couldn't think of it.
I can see you fighting for the future. And then, dude, do you remember behind her? She's like turned around, and that police officer guy gets smacked like super slowly.
That was funny.
And then she doesn't even care that he's dead. Doesn't even go to his funeral.
She was freaking out on the train. Was kind of funny too.
Oh yeah, dude.
Hey, listen to me, or I'm all gonna die. That was pretty funny.
And then the freaking dude. The villain was so good. He was like
His accent was hilarious.
He was like, "Hello, I'm going to."
Yeah.
I'm going to come over here and kill you. He like sounds like a
Joker.
weird. Hey, he was funnier than Joker. That's the sad part.
Well, he definitely drifted away from Minecraft.
Yeah,
So Minecraft was good though.
yeah, it was a good movie.
To not even circle back around, just abruptly go back.
Yeah.
So they're gonna make a second one, I assume, because it made a ton of money.
Yeah, and they had to do the Alex
And they
tease
showed
at the
Alex,
end,
which is funny. Like that's cool.
Yeah, but it was like.
But is Steve gonna be with Alex?
Yeah, guaranteed. That's the whole concept.
Jason Momoa was hilarious. They were hilarious. Yeah, Steven, they just made the whole movie.
The kids were not impressive.
The girl's acting wasn't bad.
It was better than the main kid.
I've seen her in other stuff and she's good.
The main kid's actor was terrible.
Was like pretty bad. But it's like he also wasn't even a part of it though, really.
And then he uses a stupid jetpack at the end. Like he makes a real jetpack in the real world.
Oh yeah.
And it was like, dude, what
he
happened?
made it at the beginning.
Like how
Someone
did he
just sabotage it, remember?
Yeah, I was hoping
And then he crashed into the
giant donut
how did he not
sign
die?
or something.
Was
Like
he on it?
he was on the ground.
Oh.
And he just like you just see the rocket come up and it flies down the thing. It was terrible. That part was terrible. If you cut those two out, I know they're the main characters, but I could have seen them not having like Steve in the story.
That would be insane.
It would literally be the worst. It would probably be one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
Anyone would have been mad if there was no Steve. If they did it perfectly. Because if they made it like a cutesy kid story where they go into the Minecraft world,
no one would have cared.
I would have not cared nearly as much. But they made it like funny, goofy, and they did a lot of. One thing that people do when they take video games or things that people like love, like fandom stuff that's kind of niche. I know Minecraft's really popular,
yeah,
but
it's
if you're
massive.
not a gamer, like you're not gonna know.
Yeah.
Like if you don't play Minecraft, there's a lot of jokes you wouldn't have gotten in the movie.
No.
Most of the time, people water down.
Oh yeah,
this
it's
stuff
annoying.
So it's like more accessible to the public.
As much as I enjoyed the Uncharted movie for some aspects,
so watered down. I liked
it was way too
but
watered
it's
down.
watered down.
It was not enough to be.
Really, it should have been. They only did one movie, right?
Yeah.
Really, they could have done like 3 movies.
I think they're going to do a sequel.
They could have had the first movie be 2 movies if you're going by the games.
Agreed, and that's the problem is, you're introducing the ring.
They could have made it like a Star Wars level.
Oh yeah, you're introducing the ring. You're
Indiana
introducing the
Jones.
legends of what's going on. You have the horrific.
They really missed
creatures.
an opportunity there.
Yeah, there was no supernatural.
Tom was great, but they missed an opportunity.
There was no supernatural element.
No supernatural element. You could have started with them being. I mean, there's so much they could have done.
Honestly, Sam was kind of the most interesting character.
Yeah.
He wasn't even on screen.
And it wasn't bad.
No.
It just wasn't great.
Him and-
But yes, so like you said,
Yeah.
they tend to water things down to be like, oh, we got to make it more movie-ish. Minecraft was great because they got the slate's totally clean,
Yes.
which is probably the reason people like Minecraft the game, because it's just like a clean slate every time.
Yeah, it's just what it is. It's not.
And
No, I guarantee they're going to bring the Ender Dragon or something into the
that'd
next
be
one.
sick.
They're gonna try to do the.
But they don't like. I mean, they had zombie pig. There's so much stuff from the games that they put into it that I was shocked by.
Yeah, the zombie pigmen, the overworld.
I didn't think that some of the jokes, like I didn't think that I was like, oh, if you don't play Minecraft, or if you don't know Minecraft, you might think this movie's like the dumbest thing you've ever seen. Not that there wasn't some funny, universally funny jokes, but a lot of them are like funny if you know.
The village, dude. The villagers not being able to talk.
Yes, all the villagers, the chicken, like the flaming chicken, where it just falls in the lot. Like, I understand that people could think that's funny, not knowing what's going on.
But that's how it is.
Then they had like little, like Sarah's like, oh, there was a golden apple in that chest, or whatever, or like stuff like that.
Yeah, and the Nether existing at all. From
yes,
the portal
the Nether with the pigmen and the.
All that, like
there's just a lot.
Haunted Mansion, dude. They mentioned the Haunted Mansion.
The Haunted Mansion. Yes, they gave. Like with the wolves, you got to give them bones, and then they love you and want to help you, and like. When they were crafting is like just like in the game, and it was just really cool. Like then the gas. Like them flying under the gas with the like pulling it, poking it.
Oh
so it
yeah,
shoots
that was funny.
Like
that was creative.
There was just a lot of stuff that if you just it was like a Minecraft. They did a really good job of like if you're a fan of Minecraft, then you're gonna think this is sick.
Oh, agree.
And I thought it was gonna be watered down trash. Of
where
like,
it's just like
Steve is like literally just perfect.
He is perfect.
He's some guy who thought mining was cool,
and then he just found a portal.
He's trying to get into a mine as a child. Like finds a portal to the Minecraft world. And he just lives in the Minecraft world as like an old guy.
He's just he's like a crazy.
Like, not old, but like you know what I mean.
He's like a crazy hermit who lives in a random world.
Which is like Steve is perfect. It's just him knowing all the stuff and like
the battle at the end was just oh my gosh, the flying the iron golems too. Oh my gosh, dude.
He's like, just don't mess with the villager. Like all these jokes of like all these jokes are just so good.
Yeah, because they worked. Because they liked the move, like they liked the actual product. They liked the game. Like it wasn't. It's the same with how Zelda's going to be. They're going to frickin' dumb it down to the point where no one wants to watch it and no one's going to care because none of the references are going to hit.
Yeah.
They're not even going to follow the lore. Nintendo's not going to enforce anything. It's how Uncharted was. It's how Assassin's Creed was. Assassin's Creed did have Michael Fassbender, and that was the only reason why that movie was even watchable.
Was it good?
It was only watchable because of him. He was literally, obviously he's the main character, but I was more interested in the modern side of the story because the ancient one they didn't really care about. Mm-hmm. I was like, I would have liked to have seen, this is what I would have done if I were them. I would have just had one movie with our guy getting kidnapped by the Templars, and then another movie with him being in the Animus, and then another movie with him getting out of the Animus and fighting.
That's another thing where it's like they take off so much. They're like, let's make it into a movie. Like, they take so much off.
Yeah, well, they don't care about the Templar conflict. They don't care about why they're there or Abstergo, the guys that kidnap people. Like, they don't care. They don't care about the lore. They don't care about the characters. They don't care about any of that stuff. And that's the problem with video game movies is every time you see them,
I know.
People are just like, I mean, dude, Bob Hoskins' Mario movie, they didn't give a crap about Mario, the live action one.
Yeah.
They didn't care about him.
Yeah, I mean, the new one's great. I haven't seen it, but, like, people love it.
Like, but that's because it's actually a love letter.
Yes, it's like they know Mario.
They also didn't make it live action, which helped.
They didn't, yeah. True. And Jack Black was in that, and he killed it in that, too.
Yeah, because if you put him in any role, he'd probably be great.
Dude, you're right. It's almost $1 billion of revenue from that movie.
Oh, from Minecraft? Yeah. Because it's hilarious.
It probably will, by the time it's out of theaters, be like at $1 billion.
And the guy who made Napoleon Dynamite made that movie.
Really?
Yep. That's where part of the humor comes in.
Huge success.
Yep, that's where the humor comes in.
How much did it cost to make?
Probably, I mean, dude, look at the backgrounds. They're so detailed and like intricate, and
they did really good blending the live action characters in with the
Yeah,
fake stuff.
I mean, it's like the RTX patch thing. You can kind of logic it in your mind that it's like, oh.
Yeah, because I'm thinking like, oh, this is going to be like, you know what I mean? Like hard to believe, kind of.
Kind of like the stuff I made in the past.
Oh my gosh.
The stuff that I made. You know, the amazing green screen adventures of...
It's on track to make to be $1 billion hit.
The green screen nightmares of Seth Buscus Adventures. Those abominations. That's what you were thinking it was going to be like. Guaranteed.
I'm trying to see how much did Minecraft movie know? How much did it cost? To make Minecraft movie. Dude, this is so annoying.
Yeah, the internet.
Like Google just keep. It's even worse now with the AI stuff, where it will like.
Yeah, it doesn't help, dude. It doesn't. And who knows if whatever.
It only costed $150 million.
Yeah, dude. They
so
made...
it's a complete smash hit. Success.
Oh yeah, it's a smash hit.
Rotten Tomatoes only gave it 48%, which I guess for a movie like that's pretty good.
Do you know how much Captain America: Civil War made?
Really low, I'm sure.
$1 billion. No, that's not the new one. I'm talking about the third one where Civil War. You know.
Oh yeah.
No, the fourth one made. It was so
I was thinking
bad.
about Falcon.
Like
dude, the Falcon
that
movie.
fell apart so fast. Everyone hates it. Everybody hates it. Some people just went there to see Harrison Ford. That's literally the only reason why they went there.
Harrison Ford's in it?
Yeah, he's the president.
Oh.
He's like Red Hulk for 2 seconds, and then somehow
cool.
Sam Wilson talks him down.
Was he drunk the whole time?
Probably. I would watch the movie if that were the case.
I can't remember what he said, but it was.
He was like, "While you're on your feet, let's give a big applause to these two guys for the great circle."
Definitely drunk.
Oh yeah, he points at the wrong guy. He points at Todd instead of Troy.
And he's like kind of sitting there, he's like.
He's like looking around with squinty eyes. But we will have video so you can actually see us.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can.
Which is a good
see our
announcement. I didn't mean to
expressions.
insult the announcement. I was just like, oh, I thought you had
No
topic.
No. But I think we basically covered. Yeah, video game movies. Though to get to the closing statements, video game movies. Most of them suck. People are correct about that. Usually they're terrible.
That's what I was saying. They water them down.
They don't understand how to write things. Like they don't.
Or they'll add stuff in that you're like, what the.
You don't get it. Like they don't get the culture. They didn't play the game. They don't care.
They add stuff in because they think it's going to be easier for the viewer to swallow and hit a broader audience. But it's like it waters everything down.
I mean, think about the Halo show. That thing was bashed into the ground.
I didn't even watch a single episode.
And it looked like the acting terrible.
I mean, just by the first trailer, we were like, nope, it's going to be bad.
Yeah, dude, Cortana looks like
You're
a
like,
human.
oh, regular cars?
AK-47s.
Oh, the weapons are normal? Okay, well.
Cortana looks like a human?
Yeah.
Like, what? And then, my boy, No Johnson?
I don't remember what Cortana looks like, but.
Well, she had, like, human skin. She didn't have, like, blue skin.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's weird.
And Sergeant Johnson's not there. Where the heck is Sergeant Johnson?
Dude, I saw a show. It got 80% on Rotten Tomatoes, the Halo show.
Yeah, because people don't play Halo. People that actually play Halo would be like, this is terrible.
Cortana.
And then, no Arbiter, no Johnson, no Captain Keyes isn't even Captain Keyes. He's just some random black dude.
Oh, yeah, she does just have human skin.
Like, all of it looks like there's none of the lore connects.
She looks kind of like a freak.
Like, nothing connects. It's bad.
Cortado.
Chief, Master Cheeks, See, people.
Mr. Cheeks.
What I'm saying is companies don't get it. They don't understand games. They don't care about them. They just want to make a quick buck. You know, they don't care about the lore of the games.
Season 3 is canceled, dude. Shocker.
Wow, dude, I'm so sad. I'm sure that the Halo channels are crying.
You know, if Rotten Tomatoes is giving it a high ranking, it's probably trash.
Oh, agreed, dude.
Especially when it comes to video game movies.
Oh, yeah. They don't know what they're talking about.
Shows.
Halo should have never been any of that. It should have never been a movie at all.
You could have made a movie and had it be like the graphics of the games.
Agreed.
And it would have been like
most of the games look fine. like the visuals of the games.
Especially now, you can easily make super like still a game, but like very realistic stuff.
Oh, dude, Halo Infinite looked beautiful. Yeah. Halo Reach looked photorealistic. Halo 3 like doesn't even look as bad.
Popping.
Yeah, no, dude, those guys.
Oh, by the way, I know that we talked about this real quick. I know Nintendo. You know, remember you kind of mentioned it last episode a little bit about. You said Muda Hard did a video about them bricking their systems or whatever. You kind of mentioned it for a second. But like so many, I went to the Reddit and so many people were defending Nintendo, like for saying they could brick your system.
So the fan bots came in and cried and whined.
It cracks me up. They had to be the worst fan base, worse than Sony.
Oh, agreed. Because they're almost like man children. See, Sony's just like dude bros that hate people.
Like you can like something and not agree with what they're doing. It's like Nintendo people can't understand.
No, they have to defend their precious company. Dude, Sony's fans are mad at Sony, dude. They're mad at them. They don't like the games now. They don't like the fact that they have to, to play classic games, they have to pay for their crappy service. Sounds familiar.
Which I heard is like the worst.
But they call them out, though. They're like, oh, dude, this is crap. You shouldn't be doing this. They don't like the remakes or the reboots or whatever they do for the games. The only time they liked it was Resident Evil. They don't like any of the stuff they're doing. They didn't like... Some of them didn't like Metal Gear Solid 5 because that used to be a Sony exclusive. People didn't like the way MGS5 came out now. The defenders are going to come in and be like, dude, the snake that doesn't talk at all is the best. There's going to always be those trolls that come in and talk about
Same
how
thing
bad.
Whenever you talk about Link having a voice ever. They're like...
They have to be angry.
No, it's my voice.
It's like, no, it's mine. It's
I'm like, I get if you think that it's your voice as in like you made up his voice. But if you think it's you, I never thought that.
Yeah, I never thought
like
Link.
this is I'm Link. I was always like, he probably sounds like this.
He probably sounds like this. He sounds like Johnny Young Bosch. That's what I was like.
And that's okay, but it's like I also, from the get-go, would have been okay with Link having a... Well, he does have a voice.
He does, and that's the sad part.
Just have the guy who does the sounds do his talking.
Yeah, the Japanese guy. Yeah. I could see him doing... I liked the one from Ocarina of Time, whatever his name is.
Me too. He was
whatever
so
his name
good.
is.
He sounded sick.
You could have thrown some subtitles. That'd be kind of cool. Subtitled Japanese.
Yeah, I would have taken anything. I mean, I wouldn't have cared.
Same. I would have been okay with the anime sub.
Because I never noticed this, but it really is an anime style.
It is.
And I didn't notice that. I didn't think about it as a kid.
The only one that wasn't was Wind Waker. Like, that was the only one that was... Well, yeah, because they liked American cartoons and thought, dude...
It was cool, but, like, I'd rather
It
have
was
the
a
other
cool
stuff.
deviation for a bit, but you can't do a whole...
I love the game Wind Waker, but...
It's a good game.
And I do like the graphics, but, like, would I probably have liked it more if it was the other style? Probably.
I probably would have beaten it by now if that were the case.
But what can you do, man? It's like not playing Minish Cap. Like, the Game Boy ones are so good.
I even thought... the funny part is the Oracle games...
Those were awesome, too.
Weren't trying to do... They couldn't do the style they wanted to do. They wanted to do anime. They wanted to do... They didn't have the specs. They had to put the dot eyes on, but it worked.
Those were bad examples because those ones are, like, still at least, like, the classic graphic style.
Yeah, they tried. They tried to do...
Because I was going to say they deviated, but we still like those, but not... They didn't really deviate.
Even Minish Cap was slightly Wind Wakered, but it wasn't like full. Like, it was a little bit like Wind Waker.
Minish Cap, yeah. It's still good.
But in my opinion, it translated the style better than Wind Waker did. And it's a GBA game. I think it looked better, in my opinion, even though it's a Game Boy game. I think Wind Waker looks good, but the transition was not smooth. between the styles. It wasn't smooth. It wasn't done in a way that was respectful. It was done in a way that Miyamoto said, "Hey, I want a cartoon."
I didn't realize Nintendo didn't want to make. They didn't want to release or even really make. What's that one that you love so much?
Twilight Princess.
Yeah. Nintendo was like the creator wanted to make it, and Nintendo at first was kind of like,
Aonuma wanted to do it because he wanted. Aonuma did because he wanted to bring back Ocarina of Time, and then Miyamoto walked up and he was holding the Master Sword during the. There's like a whole thing.
I just started watching a video before you got here about.
I heard the Twilight Princess stuff actually.
I was like, oh, they didn't. Like, of course, Nintendo's so dumb that they don't want to.
Yeah, they didn't.
Everyone in the comments was like, "What a travesty it would have been if they didn't let them release this game."
Twilight Princess is how you should do a Zelda sequel. I honestly think in some ways it's a better sequel to Ocarina of Time in some ways than Majora's Mask. I think Majora's Mask is a better game, easily. But
I never even thought of
Twilight Princess.
Majora's Mask as a sequel.
It is the same Link.
Yeah. No, I know, but I'm like, my thought was like, this is right after the story.
No, you weren't thinking this timeline-wise takes place after.
Which is kind of a weird thing with games with Link in general, because you're just kind of like thrown into a.
I am glad.
Isn't he? Is he in slumber until the world needs him? Like, how is he a kid every time?
How did he become a kid again?
Like every
this
single
Link,
game.
Well, he put the sword down. Our Ocarina of Time Link boy. Zelda sent him back in time and said, "Hey, go talk to the King of Hyrule and get him to do this."
In the first one?
Yeah, in Ocarina of Time. And it was the dumbest decision she ever made because Wind Waker happened and the sea got flooded and, all the people died. So.
Yeah, but what about Majora's Mask?
Majora's Mask was him.
How's he a kid again in that?
Well, that's because that's after he put the sword back and went back in time.
Oh, to being a kid.
Yeah.
So it actually makes sense.
And then he left. See, that's what I liked about Majora's Mask is at least they gave me a sequel to my favorite
So when
Link.
he's an adult in Majora's Mask, he's like actually an adult.
Yeah. Dude. When he's, by the end of the story, when he's riding off, we never see him again. Like, we never see him. Until Twilight Princess comes out, and we see him as a ghost. And I was like, okay.
Because
I wanted to play as him.
Oh, so the Twilight Princess Link is a different Link.
Yeah, he's direct descendant to, 200 years.
So all the Links are descendants of the Ocarina of Time Link?
Yeah, and Skyward Sword. Both those guys are the oldest. Skyward's the first, second is Ocarina.
Oh, so Ocarina is the descendant of
Skyward Sword.
Skyward.
Which no one likes.
I did not know that.
And
I never played it, so.
What other games were there? There's also, I think Twilight Princess, though.
So what about Link to the Past and all those guys?
Those guys are way in the future.
Oh.
The darkest possible timeline where Link from Ocarina of Time is killed by Ganondorf and the entire kingdom is thrown into chaos.
Yeah, because it is like evil.
Everything's dark and edgy at that time. Like, everything sucks. There's no kingdoms.
Funny because that's first in the actual games you get to play.
Yep, and that's, you can thank Mr. Aonuma
so that's actually way. Dude, they could remake a fire game if they do Link to the Past with.
Oh, agreed.
With like the style of Ocarina, like that style.
Dude. Oh my gosh.
It would be like.
It would be amazing.
I'd be getting that immediately.
But they're not going to do it because they're too busy. Won't. They're too busy with their thought.
They don't want you to think about their old games anyway. So
it's like Aonuma. So here's what's funny.
They want you to. They, as a matter of fact, want you to forget about that Link, all those Links in their entirety.
Oh, agreed. They want you to have Femboy Link who dresses up like a woman. So.
And I just want to announce now I'm probably just done playing Nintendo games that aren't ones that I can get for free or...
I don't disagree with you.
Like, I'll just be playing their old catalog for the rest of my life.
I think I'm done as well. I think I've gotten to the point where...
Like, the Switch is probably... I won't buy the Switch 2.
Same.
Unless it's, like, basically given to me.
Agreed.
I will not have one. And I don't care.
I'm not going to play it.
I don't care about having one either.
I think that...
Sorry, guys. And when I played Donkey Kong 64 like I was telling you, in Smash 64, and I was like, and Melee. And I'm just like, I don't have to play the newest. Like, I can play the older. Like, I was like, Donkey Kong 64 is so much better than so many games I play nowadays for single player.
Oh, agreed.
That I was like, why am I even...
It's the same with Zelda. I still have Zelda games I haven't played. You know, I haven't played Minish Cap. I haven't played...
Minish Cap's good.
I haven't played... Wait, you've played Minish Cap?
Yeah.
You haven't played Twilight Princess, but you played Minish Cap, brother?
Twilight Princess.
Oh, my gosh,
I want to.
man.
I need to play it.
You gotta... You're really hurting yourself, man. The wolf thing's not that bad.
No, it's not. It's not. That was the reason why I didn't do it.
Everyone was like, why is there a wolf? And I was like, actually, the wolf...
But you were like, it's very short.
I was like, the wolf also adds to the tension. I mean, if you're going to get mad at the wolf, get mad at the Deku Scrub. I mean, it's the same concept.
True.
It's like you
That's
can't
true.
cast a stone. In fact, the Deku Scrub was way worse. I hated the Deku Scrub.
I liked it.
It was terrible. I get why it was there to like make things more
I guess
tense.
I thought that you were a wolf like for a long time. Like I thought the main chunk. When I first was avoiding it, I thought you were just a wolf.
You have very small segments that you have to play as the wolf in for like very short amounts of time.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I know, but I'm saying when I was a kid, I was like, oh, it's like Link-ish, but not really.
In fact,
why I didn't play
one of the wolf segments, one of my favorite segments in that game, in some ways in all of Zelda, is actually a segment where you play as Wolf Link. The most emotional scenes occur as you're the wolf. Like the most
I totally don't care about being.
My heart was like, as a child, hurt playing this game. They really hurt me. They stepped on me repeatedly. I know it's pretty late, but
I don't care. Yeah, don't you have the thing at 7?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get going.
Anyway,
God bless, folks.
God bless people. Wow, we
told you.
We almost started another episode on that.
Yeah, we'll start another episode. Yeah.
See you next.